Bing, bing. There we go. We're live. It is the Martin Fowler Scrum here. We have Piotr and Puneet and Sam. And quick updates from me. What happened yesterday? Yesterday, I can remember the last thing that I did was working on, oh yes, adding cucumber tags to website 1 so that we would eliminate or at least not run the intermittently failing JS tests on the CI. So that was okay. We got that done. Talk about middleman site. I've actually been playing with middleman this morning and set up a little middleman site this morning. Michael and I are talking about doing some work on a new middleman site next week. I'm actually going to be away on Monday and Tuesday at the conference, meeting Armando Fox and trying to work out about the next run of the MOOC. So I'm not going to be necessarily around. I might have to do text stand-ups early next week. Yeah, AV102. I've just started recording the week 1 materials. I've got like 1 of 3 done this morning. Hope to get through those. Oh yeah, actually the big thing I spent a lot of time on yesterday was the final submission of our proposal for like a agile process for the local Harrow Council, putting in the budget for that and everything. We will see if they decide to go with us. That will be a big win, but you never know. I think that was yes, that was yesterday. Yeah, that's me. Puneet, how are things going with you?
Yeah, actually, I just wanted to know a little bit more about Airbrake.
Well, you want to know more about Airbrake?
Yeah, I guess it's some sort of log monitoring or exception management system.
That's right. Yes, that we're using. Yeah. So Airbrake. Basically, it's a plugin. We use it as a plugged into Heroku, and we've got it on several of our projects. And what it will do is when there's an error message in the production system, then it will inject that. We've got it set up with you can put it into different places. I wonder if I've got the Slack integration set up. I don't know that I have. Maybe I have. But yeah, if we have a look at website 1, then we can see that there are, I think you've seen yourself, Airbrake. Here, we can see that certain issues are opened. And so it's sort of, I think it's nice because it's often the case that the time that you find out about a production failure is when a user says, oh, there's been a problem. And then you have to go and like sift through the logs and try and find the error message. And then, if you're, on the ball, you're like, right, let's make an issue out of that and so on. And I think that this ensures that any error on production is going to be inserted as an issue into your workflow.
So suppose at any time if wanted to take a look on production log using Airbrake, will it be possible?
Well, I don't know that you can necessarily see the. No, I don't think so. I mean, unless it's up. I mean, the way we have it set up for our production systems at the moment is that unless you're kind of in the core team, you can't see the production log. But in principle, you've got all that you need in order to fix an issue from the stuff that comes through here. Yeah. I don't know if you would necessarily. I mean, probably I would get access to more, and then they have to do this login, and it's well, like, yeah. Are you finding is there an Airbrake thing where you want to get more information about the production log?
No, I just wanted to, I was just looking around, checking around.
Yeah, I mean, the way we have it set up. So, for example, if we go like for me with the Heroku log, is that if we look at the so we've got the production system here for website 1, and then we have you can do it for your own Heroku thing. There's an Airbrake bug tracker that's like a free level. It's difficult to get it directly through there, and then you can kind of go in and we can you can see here, and you get the more issues about it. We've got the backtrace, environment, context. Yeah, I mean, I think it still doesn't see, obviously this is happening. We've got a databases. Anyway, sorry, that's probably more information that you wanted. Yeah, I mean, at some point in the future, once you've become much more involved with the team, then we could give you access to more and more of the logs within the system. But yeah, feel free to experiment with your own, just add Airbrake as a resource, free resource to your system.
Sure, no problem.
Cool. Yeah, and I guess so. We've got your pull request, which I guess Durrell hasn't had a chance to look at, but they'll be reviewed and pulled in. Are you starting to look at the the GitHub failure now?
Yeah. That was the issue,
Yeah,
regarding which I was.
yeah,
Yeah.
and you're not stuck on that at all.
No,
You're
no,
fine.
not at all.
Okay, great, nice one. All right, well let's go on to Piotr. How are we doing, Piotr? How's it going?
Fine. So yesterday I was trying to solve all the problems from
Mm.
the implementation of this gem friendly ID to local support,
Mm-hmm.
and I nearly done it. So in fact, the CI is now passing through Travis.
Ah. Mm-hmm.
There's only one thing with slight coverage,
Okay.
but it's like minus 0.008%.
Yeah.
So not much, but I might add some tests to cover it. And so moreover, there are 4 errors which are left.
Okay.
Because probably you haven't seen my pull request, but I wrote there that I tried to do it like the small steps way, but it turned out that just like extending friendly ID to the base organization model makes everything fail because friendly ID is just turning every instance variable which is used, for example, in link to tags.
Yes.
It's turning to friendly ID, and because of that, everything was failing.
Right.
So I needed to implement it everywhere, in fact, and I've done it like each test by test. And I couldn't do just like in 4 cases. There were tests which involved redirection from device, and I couldn't find, in fact, a place where I could change it. I tried in application controller, but it didn't work. So I'm not sure how to fix them. These 4 tests.
Sure. Right. Yes, indeed. Yeah, I hadn't looked at the detail of the code, but I read your the sets of these things. So well done. Having a go at that and good work on that. Yes, as you were saying, it's sort of the friendly ID is sort of, well, with our large app, well, it's not such a large app, but with our legacy app, as you say, the tentacles kind of go into many places, and so yeah, it's turned out to be a more challenging thing than we anticipated. Yes, yeah. So I think we could certainly. I mean, I guess you can see here from where the coverage drops are. And you're familiar with this view with coveralls?
So I've seen it twice, but yeah, I see that here we have the red one is what is the place where it's
the red is basically what it's saying is that this hasn't been accessed as part of the test run. So something about the change means that the new page has not been rendered. Now, this I would say also though, like Hound, this is an automated system. It's not always 100% correct. So sometimes it does weird things. So it's kind of a guide. But if it's just really not making sense, then it doesn't mean that you don't know what you're doing. It may just mean that Coveralls is not knowing what it's doing. In the same way, sometimes Hound doesn't know exactly what it's doing. So it's kind of a guide, but it's not authoritative, I would say.
So there would be just, I think, 1 or 2 tests, yeah?
Yeah, in principle, what it may mean, I mean, given that the test coverage is going down, it sort of implies that as a result of the change in the test, some code paths through the system are not being exercised. I mean, there's other. This relates also though to the acceptance tests versus unit tests, and I'm not certain whether our coverage is including the things from the acceptance tests. So there's it may be that with a tweaking to cover all our config that it would. I mean, we're sort of trying to move away from the extensive unit testing of controllers and focus on our improving our acceptance tests.
So should I add this test then?
Well, I think maybe we could look at it together. What I'm interested in immediately is that you were saying that there's sort of 4 more failing tests, but yet you've got the CI is passing on Travis.
So do you have some percentage of passing for Travis because there are 4 failing acceptance tests and it passed. So
yeah, I mean that's Travis is supposed to. If there were 4 failing acceptance tests, Travis is supposed to fail. Interestingly, that it hasn't. So that's another thing where we can say Travis is somewhat unreliable. As a result of these things failing, yes, it shouldn't be saying green. That's you know, we could almost submit a bug report to Travis there and say, hey, if those 4 are failed, this shouldn't be. Yeah, I don't know if that's related to the way we're set up. So this is the usually if those tests are failing, then that should be anyway. Yeah. So well, I guess we'll let's pause momentarily and say I think we've covered the stand-up thing. So we could, I think, like yesterday, Piotr, sort of dive into these things. I was just reflecting that, of course, with the 2 of you, you know, there's a great opportunity for the 2 of you potentially to pair program with each other if you were interested in doing so. Of course, you're working on slightly different projects at the moment, Puneet and Piotr. But I just wanted to ask you, are you? I mean, you've both been working kind of independently so far. Are you interested in trying to do some remote pairing?
what do you think,
Certainly.
Puneet?
Sure.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. So go on.
I'm not so experienced as Puneet, but
No, me neither. I'm still that new to Ruby, but yeah.
Yeah, but I think both.
it will be good.
I think both what I'm noticing. I think both of you have got a really great attitude in terms of, you know, taking on problems and you know, I'm seeing exactly the right approach from my point of view. And the difference between is the 2 different systems that you're set up with. So I mean, I guess what I'm tempted to do, and I'll try and keep this short because I need to move on to well, I forgot what it's called now. Recording the rest of the AV102 week 1 materials. Is we could just have a little look. Well, let me even, and this is I think a good place to write down the different things that maybe should happen here. So we've got kind of a set of issues. Maybe let's pop that into here. I mean, and I will say again, I mean, well done for your pushing on through this, Piotr. It's fantastic. So we've got some issues that we need to maybe think about. So one is that, you know, coveralls. And I think the thing I'm doing is double check whether coveralls is including acceptance tests in coverage stats. I mean, that's sort of an. I'm not saying you must do this. I'm just sort of dumping the things that are in my head, like, oh right, these are things we need to think about. And then there's B. We've got Travis. Why does it say pass when 4 tests are failing? And then C, we've got the devise friendly ID problem.
so I had also like a 4th thing here.
Oh yeah, go on. Yep.
Maybe like another task in Tracker, because for now the slugs are created from the names of organizations. Some of the names are really long, so if you take the path just from the name of it, so it might be really long, like you know, 10 words, something like
absolutely.
that. So probably we could do some custom slugs, and it's
or even there may be a way to put a maximum length on the slug when it was generated or what have you. Yes, that's a good issue to mention. It almost, I mean, this I was thinking that this might be a relatively simple thing. It's turning into a bit of an epic, but as I say, you know, we can create more issues for that. So I guess what I would sort of say is probably these 2 things are things that I can check independently, and you don't necessarily have to worry about. What I'm tempted to do, maybe right now, just spend 10 minutes on, is look at this problem here, because this is like maybe a little bit of a tricky one, and see, even if I can't solve it, to maybe give you some pointers, and then maybe, I don't know if you're both depending what time you can work out what time you guys are free. I mean, Puneet, you've been able to see more details of local support. maybe Piotr, you might help Punit get set up with local support, and then you might do a bit of a pair programming thing where you work on these things together. But let's just have a little look at the nature of the problem here. I haven't been sharing my screen. I've been writing these down.
So in fact, the problem is that if it doesn't break the site or the user experience, it's just that if you use the interface and you are, for example, logging, and then it's redirecting you from the login page or sign up page, then it gets to the different locations that it should. So
interesting. Yes. And so if we look at this, the set of 4 things that are failing here. So this is right. Are these all related to redirections of one kind or another? I have pulled. Let's see if I find my local support. I should have the code with me there. So that this is this one. Like so. And if I just let's just run one of them that's failing. So this is my org feature 54. Migrated them. I guess right. The new migration for me.
Yeah, because if you are on the old branch, I'm not sure.
Yeah, well,
I changed a branch, so.
Yeah. Now, normally the changing the branch won't affect the migration. I guess the thing here is, did you maybe change the migration name? So, like on your, I guess you recreated the migration from scratch.
Yeah, I recreated the migrations from scratch. So I didn't change the name, but the
indeed
symbol is different.
But so what that means is, is that the actual date stamp has changed. And I guess this. Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the wrong. This is website 1. Let's go in here. That's the RAG system. That's different. Local support. Here we go. DB migrates. Yeah. So what that means is that. That's fair enough. Yes. Excellent. So now for me that means I've got my database in a state from a different branch. But what I can do is I can potentially do redo and do Rails and I always forget what these things are. -t db. What are my options here? So yeah, db, and is there a migrate? Is it redo or just roll back then? db rollback Rails env equals test. And then I should be able to just bring it forward again. So I undid the migration from the other branch, and I'm now doing the, hopefully here, those ones there. So the rollback hasn't worked in the way that I wanted.
Because probably the old migration is not there.
Right, yeah, indeed. And I guess there's another thing we can look at here. Can I look at what was it? There was the migrate status.
Maybe if you change to the previous branch and there you have the old migration.
Yes, there we go. Yeah, because I've got no file for this one, and so it won't let me roll it back. Yeah, so I would need to, if we do history grep checkout, we can look at. That's your first one there. Okay, so let's go there. Git stash. Go there. Let's roll back. Okay, yeah. Now let's get back into the. And so this is the kind of thing that I think can really, like maintaining in your mind the states of the databases and the different branches when people are trying to do, git pong backwards and forwards. This is the kind of thing that can really get people like totally sticky stuck.
I was working with that like more than 1 hour yesterday.
Yeah. It's well, I mean, it's painful. Once you've kind of got it, once you've got the mental model, I mean, and knowing about commands like this, that you can do this, and it will show you a status of the migrations and which migration has a corresponding file, and so on. Then you can generally get these things fixed up. But there's a cautionary tale of, like, in general, you know, you don't want to be going back and changing migrations. In the case that you're doing, where you're changing the very last one, that's kind of reasonable, but it can be tricky. So now we're back in there, and so now we can get back to.
So my error was that I just like resetted to the previous Git version, and I didn't previously roll back the database. So then I had to set everything up again.
Yes, and of course I could be doing that here because I've got a copy of the production database locally. I'm kind of I guess I could drop the test database, but anyway. But so, you know, interesting here in this error. Okay, so that's coming back from devise. Right, this is my org feature 59, and at the moment your explanation of the problem sounds absolutely correct. Individual charity pages. This is my org feature. Let's have a look at this 59. Yeah. Okay. And so I guess so. This now show page. I guess a friendly ID is influencing the URL 4, so that URL 4 is going to generate.
Yes, because I changed it also because of other tests that were failing, and here in URL 4 now you have like ID. It's from record, not from record ID. And the friendly ID is just parsing that every like object to the friendly ID. So.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. But so no, I think that the interesting thing here is that the links that these are coming from, they're coming from. I should be on the show page. Sign up. All right, no, I was just thinking here it was from a email address. No, but it's from a redirect. So as you're saying, the person is they've clicked "This is my organization," and then they go through the sign up process.
Right. I've seen it in the console of my server that it was hit the registrations controller create action. So I checked it, but it's also going up to the device.
Device registrations controller, indeed. Yes. So we can have a look at how the device registrations controller is going up to create, and then there. So I think that the place. So I've used. By the way, what I just did there was I'm using RubyMine. I can click on even code that's not my own, and I can do like Command B, and I can jump in and I can see the code associated with that, which is kind of. So there's create, and so there are these things here like the after sign up path, and so that there are sort of hooks that devise provides for us to look into. And I think we've got those, and I forget where they are now. But if I go
in application controller, we have some.
Yeah. So maybe you've looked at those already. We've got the after sign in path. So is this the place that you would be adjusting in order to?
So I think so, but I tried to put here like by bug.
Right.
And when I was running this test, it didn't stop here. So I don't know why, because I assumed it should go through here.
Well, it looks to me like, so this is the after sign in path, and this one here for create is all the after sign up path for. So it looks like, I mean, I think we may not have that currently specified.
No, but you have, I think, if you go down in this device registration controller, then you have like you will see that.
Oh, I'm sure. So after sign. Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, there's several of them. Yes, oh, absolutely. But that doesn't mean that in this test that this is going through. See, in this case, this person is going through a sign-up process. So I think that I mean, what I would imagine is in this case, as you say, like we can go into the application controller. Is that what we had for some? And we can see here, and we can set bug there, but we could also, for example, if we put the equivalent one in here for after sign up path, we put bug in there as well, like so. I'll just have sometimes it does weird things. If you put bug and it's the last line in the thing, method, it goes a bit weird. But so we could run that again there, and we can see if we can hook on it. Let's see. Maybe we'll not hook on either of them. Let's see. It may also not have. I think we've got bug required throughout the system. Or maybe it'll just break completely. So was it after sign up path, sign in path, sign up path, after sign? We did look for after sign in, update after sign in. After okay, but yeah, we've got no, you're right. So the after sign up path for does redirect to the after sign in path. Right, interesting. But I've broken it in a different way now, and I
don't know why, but sometimes it happens, like this error in spite of the other one.
Right, and I wonder if that's because that wouldn't be because of this. I guess there's an issue here that we've got. We've got multiple threads running. Sometimes you know, like if this one, I would say like the debugger has maybe hooked, but we're not seeing it. We're not getting control back into the right situation. Is that it looks like error was different from the? I guess
yeah, because sometimes I don't know why it shows like before that there is some CSS that shouldn't be there, and like here.
Yeah. Well, this one I would say this is like a JavaScript timing issue would be my guess. Because this I click toggle link is supposed.
So sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. So. That's also maybe other issue. I don't know.
Yeah. There's some other things going on there as well, maybe. But so, if we look at this, the organization path there, yeah, we'd certainly like it to be. I mean, assuming that it was using any of these things and that was generating it, these, in principle, would be working correctly, right? This we would expect this to generate a friendly ID, wouldn't we? And similarly for this, like at the moment, what we saw when we were looking at this yesterday on the Rails console is that if we're doing app, and this is organization path for organization first. Well, this there we go. Yeah, that basically passing the organization automatically generates the expected kind of URL. So if it was going through here, then we would expect these are, yeah. Well, this is an interesting little tricky error.
But there's also the thing that it could go through edit user path. I tried it, and this is quite complicated for me. But from the edit user path, it gets redirected finally to show. And maybe I was thinking that it's through here, but then bug wasn't hitting this, so I don't know why.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's just quickly. I mean, I'll spend like a couple more minutes on this, and then maybe hand it off to you guys. Definitely a tricky one. If we go back to the feature, so basically, someone has clicked. This is my organization, and so if we just check what that is supposed to do, So we've got, this is on an organization show page, and we've got, this is my organization, and so we've got, if they're not logged in, which is this thing, so we're coming in here and it's doing this put operation on the new user session path, data signed in, the new user session path, and so yeah, okay, so is that, I have to say, looking at, so put data signed in, current user present, ID TMO. Goodness me, that seems slightly convoluted. So new user session path, let's have a look at rake routes and see exactly what that's doing. I mean, I think in this situation where we see that the, oh, I'm in the wrong thing, let's get rid of that. Yeah, actually, so the, yes, in this situation, probably the easier thing to do is to maybe follow it through in the live app than from the test. So if I have a feeling that my, if I do rake db migrate status just for the normal thing, we may find that the file is still missing there. Yeah, so we'll have to do this little jump around where we check out the previous one. We will have to jump back again. So we want to roll back, and then we want to migrate.
In the next, oh no, okay, doesn't matter.
No, you're right. You're right. I need to roll back, and I need to change to a different branch again, don't I?
Ah, okay.
You were right. And so now I want to get back into your second feature, like so. And then we want to migrate. And okay, so now, oops, what's there? An error has occurred and all later migrations cancelled. Okay, so that was one thing I got yesterday, so that's something to watch out for. I think that the save operation that you're doing is a hard one. It needs to be ideally somewhat softer. So if we look at the db migrate there, so this operation here, like I think rather than save it bang, it just needs to be save by itself, because we don't want to hit that hard error just because there's an invalid entity in there. We don't want all of the other slugs to be not to be upgraded.
Okay.
So let's just go over here and have a little look at, this is localhost 3002. So we've got those buy bugs in there, and we're in a not logged in state. So we want to go to some thing and say, this is my organization. So if we're not logged in, now can we see? So it's popped up that thing in order to allow the user to sign up. Let's just have a look on the, can we easily see on the server here what that went through? Yeah, is that okay? So I have a feeling, is that just purely a JavaScript operation? So that was the page load of the organization. It's loaded everything, and so the corresponding thing here where we've got this link to new user session path, method put data signed in current present. I imagine that there is some JavaScript that's playing with that.
I saw that like ID TMO is connected with JavaScript.
Yeah.
Here. Like.
Yeah. Okay. Here. So we've got an option here, yeah. So this here. Menu that. So right, if they're not signed in, so it unfurls the sign up form, and it sets pending org ID to the whatever the user organization ID value is, and it.
So maybe here is the problem. Maybe because of that.
Possibly. But so what it's doing is that it's adding things into this form. So if we now go and have a look at the form itself, we should see what it's inserted. We've got our login form, and yeah, so what it's done is it's inserted here this value, 963.
So instead of the friendly ID.
Yeah, although that shouldn't. Yeah, maybe it's using that, and that's what's happening. But so that's been added. So then when we do the sign-in process, so we should have a user organization ID coming through. And where does the sign-in process hit? The sign-in process is going through its registrations. So we've got, and this one is working on pending organization ID.
Mm-hmm.
And this one here, though, is it's merely setting an additional value on the user that's coming through. So it's saying if params user, but there's people who are proposing orgs. This is people who've been invited for orgs. So there's no special stuff going on there. But so I guess there's a process of I mean, in the database, I presume we still have the even though we've got friendly IDs in the database, in the user table, when it's associated with the organizations, then it should still be the database ID rather than the friendly thing. But so I guess I wonder. Well, anyway, let's follow through and see if we can actually hit any of these things. So if I then doing a sign up, so I do test at test.com, test like so, and we hit sign up. Okay, so it's telling me that it's thinking about sending some emails here. Yeah, it's come all the way through. It's taken me to 963 exactly, and even with the debugger in those two places, it seems like it hasn't hit them at all, doesn't it? And that's very strange. But so the user is not logged in. They've not been signed. This is sign up. Weird, isn't it? If we look at the.
But I think they're not signed up because they are waiting for
approval.
Yeah, for approval.
Well, they've got to click on. I think in this case they've got to click on the
on the email.
Yeah, I mean, there's two things. There's one, they'll become admin of the organization when they get approved by the super admin, and also they've got to validate that they have an account there. But so yeah, if we just look at the server log here. So because as you say, you were looking at this and you saw that it's registrations controller, and it comes through, and we've got. Okay, so here it does end up with pending organization ID set to 963. I don't know whether that gets converted.
So maybe from this JavaScript.
Presumably so. Although I was surprised that it says pending organization. I guess that's purely in terms of looking at the form itself. It looked like the form just set user organization there.
Mm-hmm.
I guess at some point in the sequence, the form is maybe submission is reinterpreted or whatever. At least that's what came in to the system. As you say, you've tracked it down to registrations controller create. So there must be. We've got. I mean, I guess these are. We've just got templates for these emails per se that are sending through those things. They're not doing that. And then where's this redirection then coming from? Yeah, I mean, let's just start at get there and then redirect it to there. That's exactly it. Right. So, and I guess, can we even follow the logic through here? I wonder if can we even have a buy bug in there? Yeah, okay. It'd be interesting to see if that works. Can I reload that if I go back and I do this again? Oops, vomiting. Will that log me on that? Aha!
Yeah.
We are here. So I think that might be an interesting way of doing it. I guess I would have said we've got build resource sign up. We can look at the params here. And then so we go step over next. So we'll there build resource sign up parameters. Resource saved. So we're just next. So we'll see what our resource saved. Has it already saved the user there? So resource saved is no. Yield resource if block given. You could just ask, is block given? Make it a bit bigger so you can see it more easily. Block given is false, so we can just step over that. The resource is not going to be saved. It's not saved yet, so we will then step over that, and we're going to go and clean up passwords for resource. Okay.
Ah, that's why it doesn't need after active sign up buffer.
No, right. So it's basically saying this user is not because we've got it set up that they must do their email validation. So then we're going in there at validatable is currently true. So it's going to set the minimum password length, and then it's going to do respond with resource. So basically, it's just going to do this and Control B on that. Respond with action. Respond with in action controls. Respond with resource. And what is the resource here? Let's have a look. Let's have a look at the resource. So the resource is the user. It's going to do respond with resource. So I'm tempted, if we get to there, to step into respond with resource. So it's going to get, okay, that's just going to get the resource, which is the user. For this, we don't care about that. But no, okay, so respond with here, and this is as part of the action controller. So respond with there, wrong thing's right. So action controller, respond with like so. Hey, Nera, just take a minute. Hey, we're just looking around in some Rails code for devise. Yeah, interesting. So it comes into respond with, and so this is customizing respond behavior, right? Nested resources. So this is all just part of the basic Rails framework, isn't it? Yeah, it's part of action controller. So we're responding with that resource. But so presumably we must have got some kind of hook that rather than taking it to that user page, it kind of comes through and has it respond. I wonder, is that something that we've got on the user object on the model? I'm getting ahead of myself here. User. Have we got anything on the user that will influence the paths about their organization? Nothing that I immediately see. Okay. So we'll step over that.
I don't understand how it works, but I assume that the resource has in it somehow this proposed organization ID.
Yes, I'm certain that it does. Yes.
And that's why it then redirected back to this
right.
This ID.
Yes, indeed. I mean, that's probably, that would certainly allow it to do that. But just simply having a pending organization ID on the model, it doesn't follow that would necessarily cause that. So I'm assuming that there's, and that seems quite specific to our app and our app's setup. So it feels like, you know, something for that. You know, there should be something in here. I mean, I can't look, and then this is of course what happens when you get down to the Rails code. Is it's like, you know, like we can find out. So we've got like mimes, which is HTML, okay, and we've got a collector, which is also just about that, and then we've got is block given, and I can just ask is block given, and the answer is false, so we can just step over that. So there's not a block, and then we've got format, and so that's nil, and so we will go over that. So if format, no, well now let's find what the format is now. Format, okay, yeah, so that's just building up the MIME type, which is not particularly surprising. Options, and so on. Let's get down here and let's find out what. So what are the options now? Default response is nil. Next. Okay. So now we've got send action. You know, we're moving through send action. So the method is create. So default render unless performed. If there's some other part, is this going to pass us back to something in the registrations controller after that all happens? We've got there's some other hook
after update path. Like
yeah, and I think maybe because it'll probably just take us there. We'll see. So we're going to go over is implicit render. Okay, we've got ret equals super equals ret. Let's just keep going. This is we're doing through callbacks, going through instrumentation, through the router. Okay. So now action dispatch here, request path parameters. So we can do. So we've got we're building a request. Request.path parameters. Okay, so it's still with the registrations controller create operation. So we've got. So we're going to have. So the status is going to be 200. The headers are going to be like that, and the body is going to be. Okay. So yeah. So this is. We've got the information in there about the flash notice and so on.
And we have there also the user pending organization ID.
Yeah, and the user is still in there. I think that's the. Is that the flash? Is it part of the? That's the flash. Flashes filter parameters, and that's still that's the incoming parameters on the. This is still information about the request. Let's carry on here. And so now we're at Warden. We're in there. We've got the result. That's the thing. If it's going to go on there, it's just as a 200, so it's fine. This is all like details of the Rails machinery underneath the HTTP machinery. We've got so we're down at the level of rack now. So
I don't understand now where we are, but okay.
No, but also it's a good thing to know that so Rails and Sinatra and lots of other Ruby servers they run on top of the kind of rack framework. And rack is the kind of it's like a layer in between HTTP and your Rails or your Ruby web server. So it kind of defines the way in which the API for how to talk to the HTTP framework. And I mean, I have to say, like, I know of it rather than being a specialist in it. So now this is all, it's all under the hood here for the machinery that the Rails controllers rest upon. So it's sorting out the flashes now and the sessions. Yep. And the cookies, and what I'm hoping is that this will, by stepping through it, we will ultimately get back. I might be completely wrong. Ultimately, get back into the device registrations controller somewhere at some point, air break. But I think we may possibly now have triggered an error in the system by just like having it run too long. We will see.
So yeah, I had something like that yesterday, and it was timeout error.
Yeah, let's just see if we can get on through here. Local cache middleware. This is rack lock. This is ensuring that so it's send file. So this is just all sending the stuff. back to the browser, the implication I think there is that do we have like a redirect, like do we end up with, see, like this is now like the full response that it's building up. And do we have anything in there to indicate a redirect? We have, what was it? It's 963 is that's the. Oh, and okay. This is okay. Annoyingly, this is about to tell me that the email has already been taken because we've already created that one user. So we've kind of gone down a different pathway there, and I'm not sure that we're going to get anything that's particularly useful. What's the word? So if I just continue this, I mean, it's not going to come out through that. It's just going to come back to this point and tell me this. Yeah.
I feel like Sherlock Holmes again.
Yeah. So here, I guess what I can just, and this is the thing is I think ideally here I would be just here. I would be giving up on this and handing it over to you, but I can't let go. It's so hard. It's so interesting there. So if we come back into here, we've got back into this, the create operation there, and if we to build resource, oh, okay, right. So this time around, that actually worked and just moved on. Is it still blocked on something? Oh no. Oh, I thought it was. Oh, it's sending the emails. Okay, this time it's sent the emails because the resources. Okay, so in this case, the resource might actually be saved. Okay, and then it says if the resource is active for authentication, it's no. So it's setting the flash message for that, the notice, and then it's saying expire data after sign, and it's saying responding with. Okay, okay, it's this after inactive sign up path for resource.
Okay.
Right. So after inactive sign up path for resource is this one. And do we have that overridden? It's here. It's here. Here it is. This one. We found it, I think.
Okay.
Will it stop for me? Well, well, interestingly, maybe that was already loaded, but I'm just gonna we'll grab that and stick that in here. Right, it confused us by being in the same file. Haha.
Yes.
So if I remove,
it was here.
Right under our noses all along.
Yeah.
So possibly, if we go back to this. By the way, see that it's opening the emails in the browser. That's this great thing that we've got from MarrowN. So this is my organization, and we'll just do it with a new email address, like so, like that, and then we say sign up like this. Now, interestingly, yeah, it has. So here we are. Yeah, so there's the resource, and that's the user coming in, and then is it going to have that session? Yes. So we step through that user claimer, and so here, yeah, okay. No root matches, and then ID nil, resource pending. So okay. Right, and so then we've got this user organization claimer. Where's it gone? Registrations control, user organizations claimer. We've got a service object there that's going through and, yeah, okay, like handling all different things. So we have to step over that. Oops, and I just wanted to look at the next thing. But, oh, look, that's Jonas. It's still, oh yeah, it's still there, right. So now we would see here this. So in principle, I guess if we just did, I guess it won't do that. Can we just say pending organization? There.
Oh,
Yes.
nice.
So in principle, where were we?
That's the solution.
Yeah, it might be that one. And if we remove the bybugs, here we go. Let's continue on that. That's there. Let's have a look at the. So of course, and I've kind of maybe been unfair there by probably what I should have done is stopped 20 minutes ago and let you and let you guys work on it. But it's
No,
you know.
but I understand that it was fun.
Yeah, yeah. Is it Puneet? Were you able to follow what we were doing there? Did it make any sense?
Yes, yes, yeah. I'm absolutely. Yeah, means it would have been much more difficult if I tried to work.
Yeah, yes. Although I mean, there's an argument that for example, the two of you working together, trying to get to the bottom of it, that would have been a more valuable experience for you guys in the long. That said, of course, we have got three other failing things to look at. So now the interesting question I use certain tools here that you don't necessarily have available to you, which is
I, for example, didn't know that I could like put buyback in the device part, so
yeah.
I wouldn't do that.
No, but yeah, so you can try that. And what I would say is, I mean, if you're working on Cloud 9, you won't necessarily have this ability to jump into those things there. But what you can do from the command line is you can do like bundle open, and then you could say, I don't know, is it devise like this? And you can for me, this opens here in Sublime, but you could do that on C9, I believe, and that will give you the code underneath that you can then put bybug in, and in principle you can also be. I mean, even if you've only got even if you'd only had bybug in here, you can in principle step in. Like if you another way in there is you could do bybug here, and then when you get to this line, you could do the S to step into it, and then you would step into the registrations controller and so on. But anyway,
I tried it, but then it turned out the timeout error. So
okay, yeah, no, well,
I couldn't do that.
Well, I think particularly if you're doing it from the test environment, because this is a JavaScript test and it has. So if you're getting that timeout thing, that's a good idea to switch over to what I was doing here, which is to actually work directly through the develop app. So lots of different bits and pieces there.
Nice.
But yeah, well, that was fun. I feel despite.
I think I learned a lot.
Great. Oh, well, that's always wonderful to hear. Yes, good show. Okay, well, I think shall we leave it there for the moment, and I don't know, you guys probably want to go off and do other stuff now, but feel free to chat in the local support channel. I guess what I'll do is I'll stop the broadcast there,